Today we'll talk about Fourier transform examples. The objective of today's session is to find Fourier transform of standard signals and sketch frequency response. So in this topic we are going to find out Fourier transform of certain standard signals. So we'll start with the first signal xt is equals to SGNT. SGNT, that is the signum function. It is a signum function. And here we have to find out its Fourier transform and sketch frequency response of this signal. So we'll start with the definition of SGNT. So SGNT is equals to, it is equals to -1 for the values of t greater than 0. It is equals to 0 when t equals to 0. It is equals to -1 when t is less than 0. So this is the definition of this signal. Let it be equation number 1. So we'll sketch this signal as follows. So this is the signal and this is the time axis t, and this is SGNT, right? So it is equals to 1 for the values of t greater than 0. So this is equals to 1. So it will go towards the infinity. Its value is equals to 1. At t is equals to 0, it is equals to 0. And for the values of t less than 0, it is equals to -1. So this is SGNT. So if we consider this part of this signal, so we can say or name this signal as u of t, that is unit step signal, which is equals to 1 for the values of t equals to n greater than 0. And if this part you consider, this is u of minus t, no doubt, and the signal inversion, so minus u of minus t. So this is SGNT, or we can define SGNT is equals to u of t minus u of minus t. Let it be equation number 2. Now the signal u of t is not absolutely integrable. So it is not, when you take the integration, it is not giving you the finite value. So it is not absolutely integrable. Hence, to find out the Fourier transform of this SGNT, we have to multiply the u of t, the given in the equation, by a two-sided exponential signal like this, and putting the limit is equals to a tends to 0. Just see, SGNT, so the same signal I am modifying like this to make it integrable. SGNT is equals to limit as a tends to 0. So multiplying by two-sided exponential, so this is u of t e raised to minus at into u of t, minus sign as it is, so minus e raised to at, because this is towards the negative side, and u of minus t, right? So this is SGNT. Now just here limit a is equals to 0. If I put a is equals to 0 here, it is equals to e raised to 0 is equals to 1. This is again, if I put a is equals to 0, e raised to 0 is equals to 1. So u of t minus u of minus t, there is no change in the given signal. Just for finding out the integration or finding out the Fourier transform, we have just multiplied by e raised to two-sided exponential, you can say, and that is just it is just like multiplying by 1. Now we can find out the Fourier transform of this. So Fourier transform, as we know, x of j omega or x of omega, that is equals to minus infinity to plus infinity x of t into e raised to minus j omega t into dt. That is the equation of the Fourier transform. Now put xt is equals to sgnt. So that is equals to minus infinity to plus infinity sgnt into e raised to minus j omega t into dt. That will be equation number 3. Then we'll use this equation in place of sgnt. So put the values. So this is equals to limit. So I am taking limit outside. A is equals to 0. A tends to 0, you can say. That is into bracket. Integration minus infinity to plus infinity. Integration minus infinity to plus infinity. Now put the value of sgnt. E raised to minus at into u of t minus e raised to at into u of minus t. So this is the signal into e raised to minus j omega t into dt. So this is the signal that we have put its value here. Now just see here, I can write u of t is equals to 1 for the values of t greater than or equals to 0. It is equals to 0 elsewhere. So this is the u of t. So we are going to simplify this integration. Now u of minus t is equals to 1 for the values of t less than or equals to 0, and it is equals to 0 elsewhere. Okay, that means from minus infinity to 0 this signal is equals to 1 and it is equals to 0 elsewhere. So we can put the limits now. So x of j omega is equals to limit as a tends to 0. Now I will put the limit 0 to infinity, that is e raised to minus at into u of t. So u of t is just we have replaced the integration. So this is equals to e raised to minus at e raised to minus j omega t dt. That is using the linearity property. Now the minus sign is there. So minus integration right from minus infinity to 0, because we are removing u of minus t from this. So e raised to at into e raised to minus j omega t into dt. So this is the reduced form of integration. Now this is equals to limit as a tends to 0. So we can combine this 0 to infinity e raised to minus a plus j omega t dt minus infinity to 0 e raised to a minus j omega t into dt. Bracket complete. Now you can apply the integration and put the limit. So integration of this e raised to minus a plus j omega t divided by minus a plus j omega. This is limit a tends to 0 to infinity, that that is limits that we are going to put minus sign e raised to a minus j omega t. So that is the integration of this a minus j omega minus infinity to 0, lower and upper limit. Now limit as a tends to 0. Now put the upper limit first, then lower limit, now infinity, now e raised to minus infinity, so t is equals to infinity, so minus sign e raised to minus infinity divided by minus a plus j omega. So minus this lower limit, so minus sign minus become plus here, so e raised to 0 divided by a plus j omega, minus sign as it is, so put the upper limit is 0, e raised to 0 a minus j omega, so minus minus become plus, that is equals to the lower limit e raised to minus infinity divided by a minus j omega, bracket complete. So as we know, e raised to minus infinity, since e raised to minus infinity is equals to 0 and e raised to 0 is equals to 1, so it reduces to limit as a tends to 0. So this is equals to 0, this is equals to 0, so e raised to 0 is equals to 1, so 1 divided by a plus j omega minus 1 divided by a minus j omega, right? So this is the reduction, so that is equals to minus 2 into j omega divided by, so a plus b, a minus b, a square minus b square, so this is a square plus omega square. Now put the limit, put a is equals to 0, now we'll write putting the limit a is equals to 0, so it reduces to, that is minus 2j omega divided by omega square, so omega and omega square gets cancelled, so that is equals to minus j 2 upon omega, or you can, if you take j to the denominator, it is equals to 2 upon j omega, right? So this is the Fourier transform of SGNT. This is the Fourier transform of SGNT. Now we are going to find out this is the Fourier transform, and next step is to find out the magnitude spectrum. So this is the, we can write x of j omega is equals to, x of j omega is equals to 0 minus j 2 upon w. So that is the real part is equals to 0 obviously, and this is the imaginary part, right? So magnitude of x of j omega is equals to real part square plus imaginary part square. So 0 square plus imaginary part, that is 2 by omega its square. Okay, so that is basically 2 by omega, and angle of x of j omega is equals to, now just see here, tan inverse of imaginary part, that is minus 2 by omega, so this is the imaginary part, divided by real part. Real part is equals to 0, so that is equals to tan inverse of infinity. So if you put that is imaginary part is equal to some value divided by 0, that is tan inverse of infinity, that is for positive value of omega are there as well as negative value, so plus minus tan inverse of infinity, so that is equals to plus or minus 90 degree. That means for positive values of w it is equals to minus 90 degree, and for negative values of w it is equals to plus 90 degree. So this is the phase, so this is the magnitude and this is the phase. Now we'll sketch the magnitude spectrum and phase spectrum. Just see what we have seen. So magnitude x of j omega, that is equals to 2 by w. So we'll take two extreme conditions. When w is equals to 0, magnitude x of j omega is equals to, so 0 means infinite. That means at 0 it takes the value is equals to infinite. Then I will take one more extreme limit, that is omega is equals to infinity. When omega is equals to infinity, x of j omega is equals to 0. Okay, so these are the two extreme conditions. Again, angle of x of j omega is equals to minus 90 degree constant when omega is having the positive values, and it is equals to plus 90 degree when omega are having negative values. Okay, just the sign change. So you can sketch the spectrum now like this. Magnitude of x of j omega, this is omega, positive side, this is negative side, towards the positive infinity, this is towards the negative infinity. When it is equals to infinity, it is equals to 0, and when it is equals to 0, it is going towards the infinity. So it is going towards the infinity when it is equals to 0, and when the values of omega are increasing towards the infinity, it is reaching to 0. So at infinity it will reach to the 0, and again to this side same thing like this. So it is going towards the infinity when omega is tending to 0. It is tending to 0 when omega is tending to infinity. So this is the magnitude spectrum. Magnitude spectrum. Phase spectrum, same thing. So this is angle of x of the same manner. Just see here, for the positive, this is positive values of omega, these are the negative values of omega. So minus omega here, okay, to this side, minus values of omega. So this is plus 90 degree, this is minus 90 degree. We have seen for positive values of omega, minus 90 degree constant because tan inverse of infinity, and for negative values it is equals to plus 90 degree constant. So this is the phase spectrum, or you can say phase plot, right? So this is the frequency spectrum of SGNT, right? One more simple example we'll see. Second example, it is simple. It is find the Fourier transform of u of t. U of t means that is unit step. So unit step is like this. Again we have to find out the frequency spectrum of this u of t. So this is u of t signal. This is t, this is u of t, magnitude is equals to 1. This is t is equals to 0. Okay, so this u of t, we know u of t is equals to 1 for the values of t greater than or equals to 0. It is equals to 0 elsewhere. So we are going to find out or represent this u of t in terms of SGNT, because just now we have found out the Fourier transform of SGNT. You see. So can I write u of t as half plus half SGNT? Let it be equation number 1, and we'll check. First we'll draw this signal. So this is half. Let this is the first part of the signal, and second part is half SGNT plus SGNT. So it is half, so the value is equals to half for the values of t greater than or equals to 0. This is t, this is half SGNT, and to this side it is also equals to half, that is in negative direction, that is minus half. So minus half, this plus half, now just add, the addition is there, addition of these two signals. So minus half plus half, it is equals to 0. This is half plus half, it is equals to u of t. So this is equals to u of t, amplitude is equals to 1. This minus half and plus half, it is equals to 0. Okay, so this is u of t. So this u of t can be represented as half plus half SGNT. Okay. Now you can take half outside. U of t is equals to half 1 plus SGNT, right? So we know the Fourier transform of SGNT, just now we have calculated. We know the Fourier transform of 1. So Fourier transform of 1, that is equals to 2 pi delta omega, and SGNT, Fourier transform of SGNT, that is equals to 2 upon j omega. Just now we have calculated. So Fourier transform of u of t is equals to half into bracket 2 pi delta omega plus 2 upon j omega. So if you take these two outside, it is equals to 2 and 2 going to be cancelled, that is pi delta omega plus 1 upon j omega. This is the Fourier transform of u of t. Okay, so this is how to find out the Fourier transform of standard signals, two standard signals that we have seen. Now this is the Fourier transform of u of t. We have already seen how to calculate the Fourier transform of SGNT. So this is all about the today's session. So we'll stop here. Thank you.